Hi there. Hey, I just wanted to spend a few minutes with you to help you understand how you are going to be answering your Term 1 papers. Well, unlike some of you might have speculated in the past, we're not going to be doing this online. We are going to be doing this on physical copies. And CBSE has issued guidelines to all of your schools as to how they want the term papers answered. All right? Very simple, very straightforward. Most likely you've been told about this as well. But I thought, let me just run these steps through you and also show you how CBSE has allowed for us to take guesses or make some suppositions of the answers and check our answers and confirm and show them that we are really confident about our answering. Great. First up, when you receive your OMR sheets, notice that these are just answer sheets, okay? They do not belong to a question. They do not belong to a subject. They belong to the person. What do I mean by that? There are going to be pre-filled details of your roll number, of all the other details that you have. Verify those details in your sheet that you receive from your school. The thing that you have to fill is that little box which says, what is the question number? Okay, question paper code is going to be on the question paper. You have to fill that in. This will let people know that, okay, you have actually answered it and you have answered this particular question paper in this OMR sheet. Okay, fill that up. Make sure that you write your numbers and your letters, all of that very carefully, very cleanly, so that nobody has any confusion as to what you're trying to represent. And then after you've answered your questions, and we'll explore how to answer, at the end, you're going to have a declaration. Now, what does that mean by declaration? Check this out. What does it say here? I confirm that all particular given above are correct. That's not enough if you read it out, right? You have to write it with your hand. What do you have to write? Exactly this thing. You simply have to write, I confirm that all particulars given above are correct. Why? Because this will tell people that you're done answering the paper and you have confirmed that you're done answering the paper. And just to validate that it's you, put your signature out here as well. Not anybody's signature, put your signature. Okay, cool. Now that this basic stuff as to how to see your answer paper is ready, and realizing that the answer paper is just a template answer paper, it is not tied to a question, it's only tied to you, the student. Great. Guidelines, do's and don'ts. Now there are a set of guidelines. I'm going to walk you through them and then we're going to do some things and explore why each of these seems to be useful. Use only blue or black ball pen to fill the OMR. All right. Do not use ink pen or gel pen. Why? Because usually the ballpoint pen, right? The ballpoint pen ink does not get smudged. It's quick to dry. Okay. Do not use a pencil. Now, why should you not use a pencil? There might be n number of reasons, like it's just really shiny or whatever, whatnot. It might get rubbed, erased when things are rubbing against each other. But check this out. Using a pencil is strictly prohibited in that it is actually an offense, because you're going to be answering this important exam by using the wrong means if you use a pencil. All right. It's a offense that you can get punished for. Note that there is space for answering 60 questions. An answer sheet has 60 of these particular things that you can fill your answers into. Okay. 60 of them. But some of you might know that some of the question papers might not have 60 questions at all. It'll have only 45 questions. What do you do then? Well, answer up till 45, leave 46 to 60 empty. All right. Now, here's one thing that I want to caution you against. Let's assume this was question number 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. Let's assume, okay? And your question paper has only 45 questions. So you answered all the way till 45. We'll figure out how to answer that. But you realize you made a mistake at 41 question, okay? You cannot scratch this out and change this 46 to 41 and write down the 41 answer here. That does not work. This sheet is only going to read that particular row to that particular question number as it is already indicated out here and out here. Keep that in mind, okay? Be careful when you're approaching your answering. Answer the questions based on the section-wise internal choices that you have, which basically means don't just attempt all questions. You know the kind of questions that you will choose. You look at your question paper, you'll see the questions, you will see which ones you want to answer out of the electives or the options. You will see in what order you want to answer them and answer only those, okay? This is an answer sheet. It is not broken down according to different questions and different subjects. Great. With that, how do you fill an answer in? Very straightforward. Darken the option completely when you're confident about the answer. As you're going through the question paper, you do your rough work, you think about what the answer would be, get the option, darken the circle completely. All right. Again, darken the circle completely. Don't say B is the answer, C is the answer. You got to do that completely. Now, of course, 100% precision is not required, But you got to be as close to precise as you can. Okay, don't do this also because it's overlapping. Be within that circle completely when you're confident. Write the correct option that you have circled in the box marked. Now, some of you will be like, hey, why am I circling and answering and writing the question as well? I could just simply write or I could just simply circle. I'll come to that in just a little bit, okay? Check this out. The last circle is another piece of input. And check this. You have A, B, C, D as your option responses inside circles here. You have a blank box that you can write. And you have another circle which has the same question number written out here, right? Darkening the last circle will be considered as an unattempted question. What does that mean? Let's say this is how I've answered the question paper, right? Now you know this, you're very confident. Check this out. Ignore this column for now. Okay, ignore that column. When I'm going through the questions and I figure out with some rough work, with my computation, with my calculation that this is my answer. Let's say question 1 has an answer of A. I will mark that A in the circle. I will not write it yet. I'll mark that in the circle. Then I'll answer 2, I'll answer 3, I'll answer 4. I'll answer all the questions just by marking them in the circles. Now CBSE has given me an option to actually confirm or check my answers again. When I'm checking my answers, if I figure out that these are correct, then I write that in. Okay. And when I'm checking my answers, if I realize that, okay, I'm not very confident right now, even though I've done all of this, I can go back and say, hey, question number 3, right? Don't evaluate it because consider it as unattempted. That's why you have that last hash there, okay? Last circle out here. Great. At first, quick check. Darken the circle while answering. Keep in mind, darken the circles alone when you're doing your first attempt. This piece, keep it for your first attempt. Okay. Then, when fully confident, write it in the box. This part, keep it for your checking. Okay. Got that? Only when you do both of these things will the question be considered as attempted. Both the circle filling is important and the writing is important. And you can strategically use it as your first attempt piece for the circles and the writing is for the checking. Okay, great. If you leave the boxes empty, that doesn't work. First attempts, great. While you're checking, make sure that you write these things down. Okay. Now, here's another thing. A is darkened and the box is left empty. That will mean that you have gone through and you've tried answering, but when you're checking, you're not confident and the evaluator is going to consider that you have not attempted that question. That question will not be evaluated. Okay? Keep in mind, you have to write the answer out here as well to communicate that not only have you guessed it, you have actually confirmed that you are answering this correctly. Okay? In other words, if I leave some blank boxes, then here my question 3, question 6, 8, not 8, sorry, question 9 and question 10, these are going to be considered as unattempted, even though maybe question 9 has an option A as the correct answer, you will not get scores for that because you have not written down A next to that box or in that box. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, B is written in the box and A is darkened in the circle. Why will the situation ever arise? When you're first answering, you thought it was A. But when you're checking, you realized, oh no, it's not A, it's B. You see, that is why you have this little checking option here as well. Okay, because only the answer B is going to be considered as the attempt that you have made. The answer for question will be considered as B, right? This is there just to give you that little extra edge so that you can correct yourself when you're checking your answers. Okay, keep that in mind. For instance, let's say you filled it up this way. Even though the green marked one suggests this so that you can see it very clearly, even though A has been the first attempt, D was the final answer, that question will be evaluated assuming that your answer has been D, not A. Okay, this is just to help you in case you realize that you want to change your answer, which is why I said don't darken the circle and write the answer at the same time. Make sure that you darken all the circles as your first attempt, and in your check attempt you write down the answers so that you can be doubly sure about things. Great. B is written in the box and no response is marked in the circle. Then what? Well, again, keep in mind, it means that when you were doing your first attempt, you were unsure about answering it or you decided to skip it. But when you're doing your checking, you realized that you want to answer this and B is the correct answer. You see, CBSE is allowed for that, which means this question will be evaluated with B as the answer that you've attempted. Okay, easy peasy, simple stuff. Keep in mind that that writing piece is there to make sure that you're confident about what you're answering. Okay, great. In a sense, even if I have undarkened circles, if I have written something down, the evaluator will assume that I have made the attempt. So if you do not want that to be scored, do not write anything out there. Okay. What do I mean by that? Circles are left blank, box for writing is left blank, and the hash circle is left blank, or hash box is left blank. This will also be considered as unattempted question. Okay. How do you confirm that something is unattempted? Do not fill the box, do not fill the circles, do not fill any of the circles. Or if you have by mistake filled the circles, or don't fill the box. Or if you've by mistake fill the circle and fill the box, then fill up the hash as well to say that this is unattempted. Okay, easy peasy. I know it took some time, quite a bit of time to explore this with you, but I just want to reassure you that every measure is being, or it looks like a lot of measures are being taken to help you make sure that you get the right answers communicated when you're submitting your test answers, exam answers. Quick recap. Write the question paper code on the top right. Make sure that you write that and also verify the details that are there on the left. Second, use only black or blue ballpoint pen. Do not use a pencil. It is offense in that it is strictly prohibited. If you use a pencil, one, of course, evaluation won't happen. Second, you will actually get penalized because it is the wrong means used for a particular purpose. Okay. Darken the circle completely. Don't do partial filling. Don't do extra filling. Just be careful about it. Okay. Don't be in a hurry. Response written in the box will be considered as the final. Therefore, use the box for your check and your final confirmation. Okay. Make sure that you keep all of these pointers in mind. And couple of things before your exam day. Make sure that you are pretty confident about things, right? Do not cram in new topics just at the nth moment. Be calm towards the nth moment. Okay. Revise the notes that you have made. Don't look for guidelines and textbooks. Of course, take some mock exams and stuff. That's very useful. In fact, we'll have a lot of videos as well to share with you. But do not try to cram in a lot of information. Just revise the notes that you have already made and watch quick videos or quick recaps of content that you've already covered. Be relaxed, eat well, stay fit. A lot of us forget this during exam time, that unless I am physically healthy, unless I'm mentally healthy, I'm not going to have a very powerful exam taking experience. And if I'm not in the most powerful state, then I'll not be in the most confident state about the answers, and that will come through in the answer paper. So be really relaxed, eat healthy, eat regular, and stay fit. Okay, don't just be locked in a room with your books, or don't just be, I don't care what's happening, I'll do whatever I want to. Be cautious. And also get sufficient rest. Because one very important part of being healthy and staying fit is the amount of sleep that you get. Do not pull overnighters unnecessarily. Okay? Really, all of this is being shared with you because we've made these mistakes in the past and we've learned that these are actually, it sounds like cliches, everybody keeps saying it, but it's true. Great. General tips. When you're at the exam, be careful while filling the OMR sheet. Go back and verify that you mark the circles and the writing properly, and you have made sure that you've marked the hashes wherever you want the answer to be unattempted. If you get stuck on a particular question, I can't repeat this long enough, multiple times enough. If you get stuck at a particular question, stop trying to answer it immediately. Go onward to the next set of questions. Remember, you can always come back and answer that question. Okay? Do not spend time. Time is very critical. Make sure that you select the right options out of the ones that you want to answer, and make sure that you choose the easier ones to attempt first. Get that out of the way. Get the lowest hanging fruit from the tree and then climb the tree to pick the bigger, taller fruits, right? Great. Don't spend time. Remember, likely there's no negative marks, right? Come back to it later. You'll have better time. And in the time that you're wasting here, you might end up answering 4 more questions. Okay? Cool. And we keep talking about time. Keep an eye on time, right? So that you can plan how fast you should move, how slowly you should move, how much you can come back to, how much you can go back. Be calm, okay? You don't have to worry at all. Realize that over many years, people have been taking examinations. So there is truly sufficient time. There is truly sufficient preparation time. There is truly sufficient time that's given to you during the exam. There are enough options just to help you so that you do not make a mistake and wonder, oh my God, how do I correct my mistake? So that you can take your first attempt, finish everything, come back, fill up all the circles, then do a thorough check where you write down the answers. And in case you feel unconfident, mark the hash as well. At the end of the day, make sure that your term 1 paper goes as well as you intend it to. Because I'm pretty sure that given all the studying that you've done and exploring that you've done and the videos that you've watched and the app journeys that you've taken, I'm sure that you will ace it. You'll give it your best shot. Do that in a calm manner. All the best.